Al-ilm al-yaqeen, certain knowledge. So, this command that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making here is in order for us to know with certainty that whatever He is about to tell us is 100% true, something that we must believe with yaqeen, as everything in the Quran. Al-haqqu min rabbikum. The Quran is the truth. Al-haqqu min rabbikum. The truth is from your Lord. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. So whoever wants to believe will believe, and whoever wants to disbelieve will disbelieve. So this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here. He's telling us beforehand, listen, get ready. Because whatever I'm about to tell you, know it for certain. Don't be ignorant of it. Don't have any illusions about it. Don't be in doubt of it. Don't speculate about it. But know with yaqeen, with surety, with certainty. أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب وله. That the life of this world is nothing but لعب وله. You know, you look in the translation of the meaning of the Quran. Wallah, it doesn't do justice. There they say amusement and entertainment. There's many different opinions about exactly what is la'ib and what is lahu. One that I found that a majority of the mufassirin amongst the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, they say that la'ib ma رغبه الإنسان في الدنيا والله ما ألهاه عن الآخرة. That la'ib is everything that creates desire for this world. And lahu is everything that distracts us from the akhirah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلْهَاكُمُ التَّكَاثُرُ. أَلْهَا يُلْهِي إِلْهَاءً. أَلْهَاكُمُ التَّكَاثُرُ حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. That the accumulation of wealth will distract you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to us, and I start with myself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, أَلْهَاكُمُ التَّكَاثُرُ. The accumulation of wealth will distract you from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Until when? Until you visit the maqbarah. Until you go to that janazah. And you see when they carry the beer, when they carry the cattle into the qabrstan, into the maqbarah. كل ابن أنثى كل ابن أنثى وإن طالت سلامته يوما على آلة حدباء منقول فإذا حملت إلى القبور جنازة فاعلم أنك بعدها محمول. كل ابن أنثى, every child of a woman. Allahu Akbar. That's all of us. Every child of a woman that a woman has given birth to, meaning all mankind. وَإِن طَالَتْ سَلَامَتُهُ, no matter how long they live, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, 120 years, no matter how long they live, one day they're going to be carried on the cattle, on the beers, to the maqbarah. And then he says, فَإِذَا حَمِلْتَ إِلَى الْقُبُورِ جَنَازَةً. So the next time you carry a janazah to the maqbarah, then know this for sure. أَنَّكَ بَعْدَهَا مَحْمُولُ. That you're also going to be carried thereafter. Whether it's going to be 5 years thereafter, 5 days thereafter, 5 minutes thereafter. So the maqbarah is a very good place to visit. The Prophet used to, at first he prohibited the Sahaba from going to the maqbarah. And then he said, فَالْآنَ زُورُوهَا وَالْآنَ فَزُورُوهَا. But as for now, go and visit them. Go to the maqbarah. فإنها تذكركم بالآخرة. Because the maqbara reminds you of the hereafter. Subhanallah. Allah said, Doornhoogte is vol. Now they've recently opened the maqbara next to Stegman Road. As jy meer plek vir die mense daar by Doornhoogte nie. How many of our loved ones have left us? Just in this masjid alone. I'm thinking about a few. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all our deceased forgiveness and a high place in Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la. So, when we go to the maqbara, it wakes us up out of that ghafla, that state of heedlessness and carelessness, as if we were just created for the dunya. And then when we see them actually taking the person out of the cattle and lowering them into the qabr, we realize, hey, they're taking nothing with them. And I've never seen a cell phone pocket sewn onto a kafan. Wallahi, they won't even give us a SIM card. And by the way, there's no network 6 foot under. Al-qabru babun wa kullu an-nasi dakhiluhu ya layta sha'ri ba'da al-mawt mad-daru. الدار دار نعيم إن عملت بما يرضي الإله وإن خالفت فالنار هما محلان ما للعبد غيرهما فانظر لنفسك أي الدار تختار ما للعبد سوى الفردوس إن عمل وإن هفو هفوة فالرب غفار. The grave is a door which we all have to pass through. The poet says, if only I knew where I'm going to be tomorrow, meaning in the hereafter. What's going to happen to me in the barzakh? What's going to happen to me on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah? Then he says, القبر باب وكل الناس داخله يا ليت شعري بعد الموت ما الدار. الدار دار نعيم. That place in the hereafter will be a place of eternal bliss. Subhanallah. How often do we actually sit and think about the Jannah? عددت عبادي الصالحين ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. I have prepared, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Hadith Qudsi, I have prepared of delight for my pious servants. May Allah make us of them. Ameen. I have prepared of delight for my pious servants in the hereafter. That which no eye has ever seen, that which no ear has ever heard, and that which no heart has ever imagined. So he says, that place in the hereafter will be one of eternal bliss, of delight. If you do that which is pleasing to your Lord, but if not, فَالنَّارُ, then there's only the fire. So either the one or the other. It's not like, here in South Africa you can go PE, Durban, Joburg, Kimberley. I flew to Kimberley once. With those small planes. Allahu Akbar. So, he then says, Huma mahallani. These are the two places, the two destinations. Jannah or Jahannam. There's no third place. Ma lil abdi ghayruhuma. There is no other place for the servant of Allah. So decide now, while you're still alive, where you want to be in the hereafter. As for the servant of Allah, who believes and works righteous deeds, there is no place in the hereafter except Jannatul Firdaus. And if he makes a mistake and he's still alive, فَالرَّبُّ غَفَّارُ, then Allah is indeed oft forgiving, most merciful. I say to myself first, Jamaatul Muslimin, you need to visit the maqbara more. أَلْهَاكُمُ التَّكَاثُرُ حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. Visiting of the maqbara wakes us up. Especially with regards to our relationship to this dunya. We came with nothing, we're going with nothing. لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Like when you come back from Makkah, I know in the old days, I know people don't take chances like that anymore. In the old days, you see the people with like 10 big cases like this. Some of the cases have got like flat screen TVs in them. And then when they get to the customs, there's a green light for nothing to declare, and the red light, for. And daar gaat hulle by die groen liggie. And there the customs officials say, yalla, yalla. Okay, they're not going to say that. Yeah, come. And when we die, we also have to pass through customs. But there's only one exit from the dunya, meaning one entrance into the qabr. And written on the door of the qabr is this verse, لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَ فُرَادًا. You have come unto us singular. كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Just like we created you for the first time. Just like we left the wombs of our mothers naked and owning nothing of this world for the first time, so we're going to leave this world, be placed into that qabr, naked and owning nothing of this world. Only 3 pieces or 5 pieces of white cloth. In fact, 3 things are going to follow us to the maqbara. يَتْبَعُ الْمَيِّتَ الثَّلَاث. 3 things will follow the deceased person. أهله وماله وعمله. His family and his wealth and his actions. فَيَرْجِعُ اثْنَانِ وَيَبْقَى مَعَهُ وَاحِدٌ. 2 will return, only 1 will remain. The family will go back. The money and material possessions will go back. They'll be still in the car. My daddy het gesê, ek kan nie watch kry. And the only thing that will go with us into that qabr are our good deeds. Are our good deeds. Let's visit the maqbara more. يا من بدنياه اشتغل وغره طول الأمل الموت يأتي بغتة والقبر صندوق العمل. Oh, he was preoccupied with the dunya, with paisa, with fulus, with money. يا من بدنياه اشتغل وغره طول الأمل. And he's deceived by false hope. In other words, living in this world as if we're going to live forever. Death comes suddenly. And our grave will be our box of good deeds. Let's get ready to fill that box. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب وله وزينة. Know that this world is nothing but la'ib, desire for material things, wallahu, and distraction from the akhirah, wazina, and adornment. Bling bling. And beauty is in the eye of the holder. Some of us are striving to keep the car, in a good condition. And if not, maybe not satisfied with that car anymore, with getting a new car. Maybe the wife is not happy with the Defy, now she wants Smeg. Hy's baie duur. Kan hulle hy's baie duur. New kitchen. And it doesn't matter. Well, I can get a new car every day. It's going to perish. It's going to rust. It's going to fade. And that's why the example that Allah then gives after saying, وَتَكَاثُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. So the life of this world is nothing but desire for the dunya, being distracted from the akhirah, adorning oneself with whatever we seek to adorn ourselves with, whether it's our physical selves or our material possessions, and mutual boasting among each other, the one trying to outdo the other, as well as the accumulation of children and of wealth. Now he gives the mathal. Beautiful similitude. Listen to this. كَمَثَلِ غَيْثٍ أَعْجَبَ الْكُفَّارَ نَبَاتُ. Now a ghayth, in fact this is a ghayth. But you see outside right now, this is a ghayth, a gentle rain. Tomorrow you're going to drive through Cape Town, you're going to see how green and luscious Cape Town is. When, just before the rains that happened a few days ago, Cape Town was dry. If you drove around Cape Town, you'd actually see a lot of the verges and the areas where there's grass. You will see the grass was actually dying. It was turning yellow and brown. And this is the example that Allah makes. says, كَمَثَلِ غَيْثٍ أَعْجَبَ الْكُفَّارَ نَبَاتُ. Like a gentle rain which luscious vegetation that springs forth therefrom is pleasing to the eye of the farmer. Al-Kuffar hum az-zurra'. A kafir is a farmer. Lughatan, linguistically speaking. Shar'an is somebody, well, let me first explain lughatan, then you'll understand shar'an. So lughatan, linguistically, a kafir is somebody who puts a seed in the ground and then covers it up. Kafara alayha. He covers up the bidra. He covers up the seed. That's literally what a kafir is in the Arabic language, is a farmer. Whereas shar'an, technically, in aqidah, a kafir is somebody that is born with a fitrah, كل مولود يولد على فطرة, which is Islam, submission and surrender to Allah, but then they cover it up. So the likeness of this world is the likeness of a gentle rain that falls on the earth, soaks nicely into the topsoil. The vegetation that springs there forth therefrom is luscious and green and what have you. But then what happens? ثُمَّ يَهِيجُ. But then it dries up. فَتَرَاهُ مُصْفَرًّا. And it turns yellow. Asfar or safara, depending on whether it's male or female, is the meaning or the word that we use in the Arabic language for the color, yellow. Musfarran. Then it dries up and it turns yellow. ثُمَّ يَكُونُ حُطَامًا. And then it literally scatters like dust. You know what this is? This is the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics, it's about entropy, disorder. Everything in this universe is affected by entropy. And that entropy, that disorder, or that perishing, is either constant or increases but never decreases. I just cleared out my garage recently. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I can tell you, there's actually no purpose in having a garage unless you park a car in it. Because if you have a garage with no car in it, I promise you'll find things to fill it up with. Things that you don't need. Things that are just going to rust, fade, perish. The termites are going to eat them up. This is the likeness of this world, Jamaatul Muslimin. Kullu man alayha fan. Everyone will perish. When last did you look at a photograph of yourself 20 years ago? Go look in the mirror when you get home and make a comparison. Kullu man alayha fan. Everyone will perish. وَيَبَقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. Only the majestic countenance of your creator and sustainer, only Allah will remain. كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٌ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ. Everything will perish except for the countenance, for the essence, the divine essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone will perish, everything will perish. Why are we then making it our number one priority in life? Something that's not going to last, that's perishing even whilst we're alive, and when we die, we leave it all behind. The poet says, sorry, I'm giving a lot of poetry today. It's very beautiful in the Arabic, Sheikh will tell you. He says, النفس تبكي على الدنيا وقد علمت أن السلامة فيها ترك ما فيها. He says, the self, especially the lower self, you know, where that shahwat al-batan wa shahwat al-farj, those are the two main desires, the desire of the stomach and the desire of the private parts. It's the two main desires. He says, this self, this carnal desire for pleasure and for material possessions, it cries over this dunya. الناس تبكي على الدنيا وقد علمت, yet it knows أن السلامة فيها ترك ما فيها. That the safest thing is to keep the dunya at bay. Okay, we need to live. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Don't forget your portion of this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran. What did Sayyidina Umar say? Allahumma la tukthir li min ad-dunya fa-atgha. Oh Allah, don't give me too much of the dunya so that it makes me go astray. وَلَا تُقْلِلْ لِي مِنْهَا فَأَنْسَى. And don't give me too little so that I neglect my responsibilities. فَإِنَّمَا قَلَّ وَكَفَى خَيْرٌ مِمَّا كَثْرَ وَأَلْهَى. Because that which is small in amount but suffices is better than that which is large in amount but leads me to evil vices. So, Jama'at al-Muslimin, النفس تبكي على الدنيا وقد علمت أن السلامة فيها ترك ما فيها. ما للمرء أو لا دار للمرء بعد الموت يسكنها إلا التي قبل الموت يبنيها. فإن بناها لخير طاب مسكنه وإن بناها لشر خاب بانيها. I think this one is perfect for our community. Maybe not so much now for the younger generation, but especially if we had to be speaking 30, 40 years ago, you know, meeste van onze mense is of was ambachtsmanne, gebouwmanne. Listen to this example. He says, La dara lil mar'i. There is no place of refuge or sanctuary in the hereafter. There is no house for any man or woman for that matter after death, except for the one that they build before death. We are all building our houses now in Jannah. May they be in Jannah, Ameen. فَإِن بَنَاهَا لِخَيْرٍ. If they build it with goodness, with good deeds, طَابَ مَسْكَنُهُ. Then they're going to have the best place to stay in the hereafter. وَإِن بَنَاهَا لِشَرٍ. But if they build it with bad deeds, خَابَ بَانِيهَا. Dan gaan die gebouwman baie teleurgesteld wees. Then that builder is going to be very disappointed when he gets to the other side. Then he says, لا تركنن إلى الدنيا وما فيها. Don't just chase after the dunya. فالموت لا شك يفنينا ويفنيها. Because death is going to bring an end to us and to the dunya. Especially us in the dunya. When we die, khalas, no more dunya for us. وَعْمَلْ غَدًا لِدَارٍ. But instead work tomorrow for a place. رِضْوَانُ خَازِنُهَا. Ridwan is going to be its keeper, its gatekeeper, its guard, its haris. وَالْجَارُ أَحْمَدُ. And its neighbor will be Ahmad, meaning your neighbor will be Muhammad. Can you imagine that? Wake up in the morning in Jannah. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Allah grant us the murafaqa, the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah. Ridwanu khazinuha wal jaru ahmadu wal rahmanu nashiha. Ridwan will be standing at the gate. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be our neighbor, and Ar-Rahman will be our keeper, our sustainer, our nourisher for everything that we are to attain in the Jannah. Qusuruha dhahabun. Its palaces will be made of gold. Wal misku tinatuha. Its soil will be of musk. وَالزَّعْفَرَانُ حَشِيشٌ نَابِتٌ فِيهَا. And its grass will be saffron growing therein. Jama'at al-Muslimin. Wal-Asr. The time is up again. But inshallah, let me leave you with this. كَمَثَلِ غَيْثٍ أَعْجَبَ الْكُفَّارَ نَبَاتُهُ ثُمَّ يَهِيجُ فَتَرَاهُ مُصْفَرًّا ثُمَّ يَكُونُ حُطَامًا. The likeness of this world, like a gentle rain, the lush vegetation that springs forth therefrom is pleasing to the eye of the farmer, but then it turns yellow, it dries up, turns yellow, and then is scattered by the dust. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ. And in the hereafter, there's a severe punishment. Now this is the essence of taqwa. What is taqwa? Sayyidina Ali said, Al-khawf min al-jalil, to fear the punishment of Allah. That keeps us away from haram. And take Allah's threat seriously. Allah will never break a promise. He can break a threat, but don't take a chance. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ. And in the hereafter there is a severe punishment. وَمَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانٌ. And the forgiveness from Allah and His pleasure. His pleasure. After the people of Jannah, may Allah make us of them, after they've been entered into Jannah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask them, Araditum, are you happy? Are you happy? And they will say, I hope we can say we. And we will say, Insha'Allah, كيف لا نرضى وقد أعطيتنا كل شيء. How can we not be pleased and you've given us everything we could have ever hoped for? And then Allah will then remove the veils between us and Him. And as the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَتَرَوْنَ رَبَّكُمْ كَمَا تَرَوْنَ الْقَمَرَ فِي اللَّيْلَةِ الْبَدْرِ. And you will see the majestic countenance of your Lord like you see the moon on the night when it is full. And then Allah will give us His ridwan. This is the meaning of radiyatan mardiya. Us being pleased with Allah and Allah in turn being pleased with us. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانٌ وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. And the life of this world is nothing but deceiving enjoyment. Wallahi, Jamaatul Muslimin, we are here for such a short time. Let us live nicely with each other. Let us live with husn dhan for one another. Let us never speculate about each other. Let's always give each other the benefit of the doubt. Let's always be ready to forgive one another. Let us strive to be united with the flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Look how the football brought us together. You're telling me Islam can't bring us together? The Quran can't bring us together? The love for our beloved Prophet Muhammad Khair al-Anam salawatu rabbi salamu alayhi can't bring us together? La wallah, it can bring us together. We must just make the niyyah. Like when they told me after I embraced Islam, first time ever I was going to fast, my skoonma sê vir my, maak jou niyyat sterk. Make your intention that we as an ummah must unite. And we must live with each other. And love for each other what we love for ourselves. And love each other for the sake of Allah. That Allah should love us for loving each other for His sake. Expressing our love for every pure soul. For that will be gathered, that's the ultimate goal. The day of the call, where are those who have loved? Come and rest in my shade for my love that you've loved. For indeed, for that love that you've loved one another, I love you, my servants, for you loved for no other. And now we return as a new baby born, purified of sin without any scorn, waiting for the day when to Him we shall go. For an accepted Hajj, we shall reap what we sow. So let us continue to sow of our gains, preparing our garden that forever remains. I love you, O Muslim, for the sake of Allah. I'll meet you in Jannah, inshaAllah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jamaatul Muslimin, I'm taking a bit of a break, inshaAllah. Ek sien vir julle in die nuwe jaar, inshaAllah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. الحمد لله رب العالمين يا رب. يا رب يا ستار العيوب استر عيوبنا. يا رب يا غفار الذنوب اغفر ذنوبنا. يا رب يا مفرج الكروب فرج كروبنا. يا رب يا علام الغيوب قنا شر ما أهمنا وغمنا. ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك، يا عليما بخلقك، يا خبيرا بخلقك، يا لطيفا بخلقك. ألطف بنا بما جرت به المقادير إنك على كل شيء قدير. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، يا من بدنياه اشتغل وغره طول الأمل. الموت يأتي بغتة والقبر صندوق العمل. وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا محمدا رسول الله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. بلغ العلا بكماله كشف الدجى بجماله، عظمت جميع خصاله. صلوا عليه وآله. صلى عليك الله يا علم الهدى، ما هبت النسائم وما ناحت على الأيك الحمائم. أما بعد فيا